Okay, hello. My name is Barbara Walsh. I'm the director here at Blue Dog Dance, and this is a video to welcome you. And in this video, we're going to go around and talk about the background of Blue Dog Dance, what things you can look for while you're here, our performance opportunities, what's a recital, how does that happen, and some ins and outs of the studio so that you know more what to expect here. So this is me and my husband and my two daughters. So we opened in 2008. And so at the time of this video, I think that puts me in my 16th season right now. The enrollment's over 800. It's been fairly consistent with that. We did have a little pandemic year, but pretty much we're about the size of an elementary school is what I tell people. We have a staff of 22. My background is in actually kinesiology with a minor in dance, but I have taught in almost any situation you can think of for dance. I've taught at the university level, the high school level. I've been an artist in residence in elementary schools. I've done private studios. I've done public sector gigs. And so I've done the full experience of teaching dance. But I love it here in the Pacific Northwest and I love the studio. And so it's a really fun to be here. The number one question we get about the studio usually is, why Blue Dog? So this is the actual Blue Dog that it was named after. So this was a teething tool, teething toy that my younger daughter just had and was carrying around at the time we were brainstorming names for the studio. And I wrote it down almost kind of as a joke, I guess, like, oh, Black Pen Dance Studio and Blue Dog Dance Studio. But in the end, I really liked that name because I knew that I could build my own reputation and our own vibe with the students and the staff that we got. So we weren't going to be, just for ballet, and we weren't going to be just for girls, and we weren't going to be anything really specific unless we decided we would do it. So we would make our own reputation rather than have a name out there that dictates it. So it was the perfect name for us. I will admit at first we did have a couple people ask us if we were a dog training facility, which we were not, but now there's no doubt of that in our community. So it was all good. Here's our team. And so again, I'm Barbara Walsh and I'm the director. We also have Tiffany Orlando. She's the studio manager. So you'll see her. She is not in this picture. Now I'm just realizing that right now. So she must have not been there when we did our little celebration party. Stephanie is our communications director and Kyra is a performing group director. We always have desk people available. Sometimes they might be sick, but there should be someone scheduled to be there while you are at the studio. So you can always ask them questions. We do have a calling service as of now. We're contemplating if we are going to move on and try a different thing for taking in calls and messages. But go ahead and leave messages, ask us at the desk, give us a call, give us an email. We have an app also that you can get information on, so you can download the app and get some information that way. And we are working on an ability to text, but that's not fully developed at this time. Our teachers have various backgrounds, so some are younger and they teach the style of dance that they know. Some are very experienced, some have had professional careers, some, so it's a varied background. And that's great because that means also that our students get a varied different opinions and aspects and just come to dance in different perspectives. So it's actually a great experience for the dancers as well. A little bit about our philosophy is that dance reflects and enhances life. So as an individual, we get to build our physical strength, our flexibility, our confidence, our social maturity. It's an outlet for our expression. But also as we dance, we get to create these memories for our families. We get to have pride in being a part of the arts community in our local community. We get to have arts appreciation. So we have a greater understanding of performing arts, not only dance, but musical theater, choir, all of those types of things. And that dance creates communities for people that positively affect each other. When we're in our classes, in our groups, and we make these friendships, we get to be a part of seeing other families with young kids and building those communities. We also have actual communities of things like performing groups. And one of these pictures is our performing group of middle schoolers at the time. They're no longer middle schoolers, but at the time they were. And then now they're in high school, and that high school group goes on to perform for and they fundraise for our community, so they get to really do outreach for the greater community. And as we dance and as we learn dance, it has great skills for us, yes, but ultimately it gives us a sense of identity and a sense of achievement as we work towards physical skills, as we work towards these group skills, as we work towards this dance performance. We have all these things we can work for, and that is a great thing for dance provides for us that we can take on in all areas outside of dance. And we are committed to being intentional without being stressful. So I truly believe that our activities, whether they're for our children or for ourselves, if we're taking dance class for ourselves as adults, that we should be able to participate in these activities, that we should understand the commitment to them, and that we should develop the determination and the teamwork and all of that. And we don't need to add stress in our lives, and that we need to understand that dance is going to be one of many aspects in our lives. Maybe you have multiple children and this is an activity for one child in your life. So we have to make sure that we are developing and we are growing, but also recognizing that there are other things that we are all balancing and that it should not be stressful. The dancers here, we start in this little, probably mommy and me class over there, and then we develop into more technical dancers, and each level is age appropriate for what should be going on for that level in both physical skill, social skill, emotional skill, cognitive skills. So these classes get more and more structured as they get older. And then once they have it, we can go on, everybody can go on with not only their dance skills, but teamwork, performance kind of under them or belt, so that they have that confidence in there. They get resiliency, they get creativity. They have all of these skills that they learn from dance that they can take on to their lives. And some actually do go on and use dance. We've had alumni as dance in college, they become teachers, direct a studio, even dance in New York City. So we have definitely dancers that use dance. But I would say our main focus is how do we get dance to as the vehicle, right, to become these people out in society. And then if we end up dancing, later on in our lives and using it as our main focus, fantastic. So as we start class, the thing to keep in mind is that we do wear proper clothes for dance, just like you wear a swimsuit to swim lessons. And, your gi, my husband takes jujitsu, so he wears his gi. And in dance class, it's important to wear the proper attire. So for hip hop, that means comfortable clothes, wearing sneakers. We ask that you wear sneakers that you change when you get into the studio versus just shoes that you wear on in. And that's because in the rainy season, it's very dirty. So it just brings in too much dirt onto the dance floor. It doesn't have to be brand new shoes. It just has to be shoes that you actually change when you come in for hip hop. And then tap is, again, clothes that you can freely move in, but that aren't hanging too long of pants so that we can actually hear your tap shoes. And then when we get into ballet, that is leotard is the thing that goes on the bodice and the torso. Tights are the things that are on the legs. And we wear ballet shoes. When we're taking tap, like the little picture, the main picture here, we're wearing tap shoes. Jazz class, the one that's like 1, 2, 3, 4 over from the left, right? There's a jazz class. So leggings, a leotard, or a form-fitting shirt. We want the instructor to be able to see alignment, to be able to see their hips, to be able to see the hinge of the hip joint, to be able to see across kind of belly, right? To be able to see belly, to be able to see spine, and to be able to see shoulders and what are shoulders doing. So that's important in jazz and musical theater and lyrical and contemporary. If you have any questions on attire, again, ask, email. You should get that information when you enroll. But if not, just go ahead and ask. We do sell things at the studio for your convenience. You are not required to buy from us, but we do have things there, so that is just as convenient, and it's there, and it's stuff that we know is good and works. So that is pretty much, I think, attire in a nutshell. And also, if you're new to the studio, give yourself a couple weeks. Don't stress too much, but we want our dancers to definitely be wearing this in class, and we definitely want them to be having the proper shoes. That is like top priority, and then what they're wearing on their bodies. A couple of things to know. So when you come into the studio, there are laundry bins essentially, and that's what the students will put all of their belongings in while they're in class. This is great for you because it reduces the amount that gets left behind. So if everybody just puts all their extra water bottles and their shoes that they walked in on and their coats and their backpacks or whatever they have in that little bin, then when it's done, they see everything that's theirs and they can just take everything out. So that's how we do that. You can bring a water bottle. It does stay in the bin or it stays out in the lobby. We don't bring waters inside to the classrooms so that the teachers, if they need a water break, we will come out into the lobby area for a drink of water. That's just to limit distractions. So go ahead and bring your water. We do not have a water tank, right? A water tank. What do you call the refillable water tanks? Yeah, dispensers in the lobby. So like when I'm there, I just use the water from the bathroom. But if that's not what you want to do, I'm like, I think it's fine. But if that's not what you want to do, just make sure that your water bottle's full. There are bathrooms in the back of each studio. So if you're in the lobby, yes, you can go to the bathroom, but you will have to walk through a studio to get into a bathroom, which is not a problem. And they are in each of the studios. And speaking of studios, we have Studio A, Studio B, and Studio C. So we have 3 different spaces in at Blue Dog. And the first 2, Studio A and Studio B, are kind of the main entrance, and that is connected by a big lobby, and that's where the front desk person is. So those 2 come, their main doors enter in the lobby. Studio C is actually in the corner. There's a dentist office in between, and then it's Studio C. So there's a couple of things to keep in mind if your dancer is at Studio C. One, we don't allow dancers to be in that space without a staff member, and that's just for safety. 2, there isn't a lobby area there. So if you want to wait or if you need some desk help, you'll have to go over to A and B for that. And C, when it comes to drop off and pick up, please consider that it's just like this little space and it's in a corner. So please come and drop your dancer off and then be there to pick them up. So when the dancers open the door, they know to wait, the teachers know to wait to make sure everybody's all connected up with everybody. But it can be, especially when it starts getting dark super early, it can be kind of a darker area. And so what just helps us a ton is if you're there and picking your kiddos up. Parking is usually okay until it's not, because we neighbor with a big banquet hall, and every now and then they have huge events, and so parking can be a little tricky. And I wish I could tell you I know in advance when those are, but I can't. So we just have to kind of roll with it when it happens. Know that there is parking all the way around the entire facility. So if you get to the studio and it seems like, oh my gosh, there's no parking, there will be if you go around to the back. So if you go, you can go either way. You can go around Doofer's side because it's all just one big circle, or you can go around the ice skating rink and go into the back. So keep that in mind as you're trying to find parking. There is extra. All right. So as we're going along with the year, what are some things that you can anticipate? Well, we do send latest news emails. So as soon as you see something that says latest news, that's going to give you what's coming up next and what to be paying attention for. Because we do not have parents or observers in the studio while the classes are going, the classrooms are just for the dancers and the teachers and the teaching assistants. We do have watch weeks throughout the year. And watch week means that we bring in all the chairs and benches, and then you can come in, and it's a designated week for you to come in and watch the entire class. So you can participate in that. And we have several of those throughout the year. We also have what we call just picture it weeks. And that's when you come in for the last 5 minutes and you can take your pictures and record whatever they're working on in class, which is fun. So the idea of the spaces being just for student and teacher is, again, just to limit distraction. So even the younger ones, right? Like the 3s and 4s, like they go in and they'll take their class independently if they can. And if they can't, we have other options for that. So don't stress if that's not quite something that you're interested in, but across the board, like that's the policy at the studio. Some of our watch weeks actually, let me go back. Sorry. One more thing. In Halloween week, we call it share dance, and that's when the dancers can bring a friend if they want, and as long as it's danceable, they wear their costumes, and we do class like usual, but they're also in their costumes, and it's just a fun week to bring a friend. We dance to Halloween songs that week, and it's just a good time. So we call that Share Dance Week, but it's kind of Halloween themed. And then I Heart Dance Week is a watch week, but it's the week that's right during Valentine's Day. And then you come and when we just kind of make that about Valentine's Day, that watch week. So that one's kind of fun. And then we'll have different spirit weeks throughout the year. As a matter of fact, tomorrow is what we call Blue Out. So I'm hoping everybody wears all blue or a blue dog. Wait, it's on the side of blue dog dance something. So that's an example of what we do. Sometimes we do like Neon Week or something like that. So when you're at the studio, we're enrolled in classes. And most of those classes will go through the academic year. That's the curriculum. The curriculum goes September through June. You can enroll. There's open enrollment through the fall, but that ends in a performance opportunity for a recital. However, if you want to actually perform more often throughout the year, we have opportunities for that. And one of the opportunities is to join our performing groups. So performing groups are for 2nd to 8th grade. We call it performing group. The 2nd to 5th grades, they come for an extra class once a week, and then they go out into our communities and they perform. They go to a competition, they're in retirement homes, they're in the community shows, we're at Salmon Days parades, all of those types of things. 6th and 8th grade does the same thing but they come on Sundays, and they actually also take their technique and their jazz class together. So they take this block of dance together, and then they also will take their dances and go out into the community and go out and compete and all of those good things. So that is for 2nd and 8th grade. But in the high schoolers, I mentioned this earlier, we call that the Royal Blue Dance Company, and they work as a dance company and they produce a show, and the show is a benefit. So we typically benefit Seattle Children's Hospital. We have raised thousands of dollars. I wish I knew the exact amount right now, but it's pretty close over the whole time that we've been doing it to $100,000, which is impressive. And last year they raised $29,000 in their one night show. So this is a fantastic show. It's fun. I hope that you get the opportunity to come, and I also hope that your dancer actually becomes a royal. It's a fun program. And a really great growing opportunity for all of the students. So those are two more like year-round programs, but we also have shows and other performing opportunities that are more seasonal that is available to everybody. So one of our first shows is called Julia Blue, and that's our Halloween show. So right when we start in September, we go ahead and do an audition, and then we take our role assignments and we learn these dances. These rehearse outside of your class time, so you would come on the weekend and you learn the dance, and then we would perform the show. When we say audition at Blue Dog Dance, everything is inclusive, meaning that we're really just doing a casting call. So everybody gets a role. So we don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm going to audition but not make it. Everybody gets a role, and quite frankly, especially with so many younger kids, these roles are pretty much determined according to age group, but also kind of where their style when they dance and how they move depends. Are they more on the ballet side? Are they more on the hip hop side? What's going on? So that is what the audition is about. So Julia Blue is our Halloween show. Polar Express is what we do for Christmas time, I should say. And so that is, we just take the story of the Polar Express and we do it as a dance show with some acting and some singing. And we have our costumes, and this is a holiday tradition, and that's my family's holiday tradition and many people's holiday tradition because it's just so fun, and it just like starts the holiday with just this extra little special, I don't know, there's a special thing to it. I swear it. It's a special thing. So similarly, we do the audition, we rehearse on the weekends, and then we would come and do the show. And the third one that we do this in the winter months, like January through March, is Oz. And that's our annual ballet. And we do everything from the little poppies all the way up to our point shoe dancers. And this is a beautiful ballet and something that we're continuing to develop. So this is a fun show if you want to do something a little extra in the winter, or if you want to be working towards getting better in ballet and kind of working towards ballet. So whether you choose to do any of those activities or not, everybody in a class is going to work towards recital. It's fun. It's in June. The dancers in each class work on a different dance, and then they showcase it at our recital. The shows are about an hour long. As a studio, we do 7 separate shows. So each class is assigned which time that you come. And then our dancers get to be on stage and showcase their skills and their dance. And as family members, you come, if you want, hopefully, to the audience, and we celebrate our dancers. Yeah. This is this. Well, no, we've had recital on Father's Day actually a couple of times. It's not every time, and I don't want it to be on that day. It just sometimes that's how it works out when trying to find the right venue, the right theater size. But in this year for 2024, it will be on Father's Day, which reminds me to tell you that we do a dad's dance. So if you are a dad, uncle, grandpa, and you want to join dad's dance, please look for that. It comes out around April, and you can start to practice a little dance and perform it in the recital as well. And that's a fun time. All right. There are probably lots of other things that will come up, or lots of other questions that maybe I haven't thought of. And that is, well, I mean, that's not okay that I didn't think of all of it, but it's okay because I know you can reach us, right? You can get the app, you follow us on social media. So Stephanie does like a amazing job at keeping everything that's going on at the studio on social media. So that's a great way, either on Facebook or Instagram. But also, you can email us, you can call us, you can stop in and ask us questions. We're happy to answer and hope that we make it as easy and as fun for you as possible. Okay, I hope that this was helpful, and I hope you enjoy dancing as much as I do. Okay, have a great one. Bye bye.